Welcome back to CF Clips. This is a Zastava Arms AK-47, and Matt's here with me. What was the exact model of it?
So this is the ZR762SR. It's one of the variations of the ZPAP M70, and that is your traditional AK-47 from Zastava. So she is a beaut. Obviously, it's got a lot of the really cool features that Zastava is known for. Just so y'all know, Zastava is a manufacturer in Serbia, former Yugoslavia, and they produce firearms for their military as well as our civilian market, and they've got some really cool features.
When this one stood out to me, it has it's bright red, first off, the wood furniture on here.
Gotta love a redhead.
They're a little more feisty, I assume. And it just, overall, the black and red aesthetic, I love that. I think it looks really cool. So starting up with the front.
So yeah, we've got a standard 45-degree compensator, typical for your AK-47 platform. It's very simple, but still pretty effective. Almost break. This is the front sight tower. Again, it is windage adjustable using this barrel as well as elevation adjustable, screwing the front sight up or down.
Mm-hmm. And then I did notice the sling mount is on the left-hand side, so I'll spin it around real quick and just give a quick show of that for anybody who's interested in that.
Yeah, pretty standard for an AK. You got a fixed front sling mount and then a swivel rear sling mount.
Let me get my arm out of the way for that one right here. Perfect. Okay, and then as we kind of continue on.
Yeah, we've got a cleaning rod down here. I think there's just something about AKs that doesn't look complete without a cleaning rod.
I think this one in particular it wasn't attached in the box. Mm-hmm. And I actually looked at it, I'm like, what is missing from this? And I was like, oh, it's in the box, it's rolling around, I can hear it. So I went and grabbed it and put it in there.
Now, this does appear to have a functioning bayonet lug. You can feel the shoulder there on the bayonet lug. So that's interesting. And then, of course, you've got this beautiful upper and lower handguard. So it's wood finished in this beautiful red finish. A lot of times people might call it a Soviet red finish.
I guess that makes sense.
It's just gorgeous. So I think it really accentuates the appearance of the overall rifle and the wood itself. One of the great things is because this is coming from a factory that produces military firearms, you have a lot of features that you would expect in a military firearm and sometimes missing in the commercial market, like the bulged front trunnion, which is the heavier front trunnion of an RPK style rifle. It just gives a little bit more beef to that, and since that's where the barrel attaches, that's where the explosion happens, it's great knowing that you have a forged, beefed up front trunnion. You've got this really cool RPK style rear sight, so it is adjustable. And then you've got a thicker receiver here. So most receivers for stamp style AKM rifles are 1 millimeter thick. Zastava is very well known for using a thicker RPK kind of spec receiver that is 1.5 millimeters thick, just to give a little bit extra structural rigidity.
Gotcha. And I did notice also, like as we're kind of heading back on the rifle a little bit, it does also have a bolt catch in the safety, which not all of them have. That's kind of an upgraded feature.
Yeah, that's right. So in most AKs, there's not really a way to hold the bolt to the rear. So on this rifle, you actually kind of have two. So first off, Serbian magazines have a bolt hold open feature built into the follower of the magazine. So when you run empty, it will catch on the follower of the magazine. Plus, if you wanted to, say, show clear at the range, you pull that bolt to the rear, flip up, kind of enhance safety lever, and hold the bolt to the rear that way.
Yeah, I did notice that as a nice little feature. And then on the other side, as we were kind of looking at it, I also did notice a left-hand side mount, sight mount?
Yeah, it's an optics mounting rail, so it uses that kind of, again, AK style, where you will have a bracket that it slides onto here, comes up and over, and that will give you space for either a magnified or like a red dot optic. Which is really cool. I think a lot of people talk about how it's harder to accessorize the AK platform, but this gives you a lot of options where, yes, it's a separate piece, but if you get a good quality piece, it locks in place really well, and you can definitely keep that same zero. And
one thing also, just looking at it, the rear or the top, the dust cover portion of it doesn't flip up. So if you do have something that pulls that comes over the top of it, you can actually slide that out rather than have it pull up and be kind of in the way.
You could. So really, the flip up kind of dust covers are something we see more just in AK pistols as opposed to rifles. So this attaches very standard way. The rear of your recoil spring assembly acts as kind of a capture here on the rear, and it gets held into the rear of the. It's not really the front trunnion per se. It's just the kind of rear sight. Block that attaches the top of the front trunnion, but it kind of sandwiches that in place.
And just moving on back, kind of the bottom portion of the rifle.
Yeah, it comes with a standard 30-round AK-47 style magazine. Again, it does have that bolt hole open feature. We've got a beautiful matching pistol grip and butt stock in that same red finish, super eye-catching. I think that if you show up at the range, this will definitely get a couple glances your way because It's just, I think it's really aesthetically pleasing.
Oh, I agree. And that's one of the reasons why I was like, we got to do video, and I have to get Matt in on this one because it's just pretty. It's smooth. It's one thing I will call out. Sometimes when you get an AK, like I've done a couple AK reviews, and you can feel the grain in the wood a little bit. This is nice and smooth.
So see, but that's actually one of those things. Like I like that. One of my favorite AKs in my personal collection is a Romanian Wasser, and I love the fact that there's a tactile grip to the wood furniture.
Yeah.
Now this is fantastic looking, and I mean 100% serviceable. I'm not saying that there's anything wrong with that kind of nice smooth finish, but certainly there's arguments to be made either way.
Well, I will say it appears really nice on camera right here. And I guess the final portion of it here is, I mean, just the rear buttstock being the same as the rest of the wood furniture that we have. Again, that smooth kind of grained wood. Same with the grip and the handguard itself.
Yep. A couple things to keep in mind since this is a Serbian style AKM platform rifle. If you do decide you want to change out some of the furniture and things, it's not going to be the same as across the board other AKMs. So Serbian style rifles use a bolt that goes back through the stock, kind of like if you imagine like a shotgun stock, as opposed to the way that other AKM rifles attach with a tang here on the rear of the receiver. So just keep that in mind if you are looking for accessories for this rifle. But I mean, Zastava is well known. Again, it's probably, in my opinion, one of the highest quality production line manufacturers available out there on the market, as opposed to like a custom shop or something. So
it does feel solid. Like I genuinely pulling it back, racking it, putting the magazine in. It just feels put together. Yeah, that's the best way I can put it. And
definitely, we've covered Zastava quite a few times. If you look at some of our main channel coverage, shout out to Ranko, what's up, man? And yeah, I mean, I definitely think that it's a solid performer. I have an older Serbian rifle. It's an NPAP instead of the current ZPAP production, but you just gotta love them, man.
Absolutely.
One thing I did think we kind of missed on up here is it's been quite a few years since they made this change, but do keep in mind Serbian rifles do come with a chrome-lined barrel, which has not always been the case. That used to be kind of a distinguishing feature between Serbian rifles and other rifles where they weren't chrome-lined, but these do come with chrome-lined barrels.
In review, some of the things we may not have mentioned, the overall length of this is 35.25 inches. You're looking at 8.5 inches in height with 7 pounds overall weight.
Unloaded.
Unloaded, of course.
Twist rate is 1 in 9.45 inches. So typically we see about 1 in 10 inch. This has been tweaked just a little bit. Gas system is a long stroke gas piston, which is, of course, part of the renowned reliability of the AK platform.
In conclusion, do you have anything else to say?
Other than I love AKs in general, I love Zastava AKs specifically, and I think that this one in particular looks pretty sexy.
Perfect. So if you have any experiences with this particular AK-47 from Zastava, as I get corrected and say it properly, please do really leave a review down below. We would love to see your comments. That is all we have for you today.
We hope to see you next time here on CF Clips.
God bless. It is time to end.